Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, for God's sake.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, last night Stormy Daniels was on 60 Minutes, interviewed by Anderson Cooper. And apparently it was the most watched 60 Minutes in 10 years.
Nearly 10 years.
Nearly 10 years. Nearly 10 years. You will know by the end of this clip why we had to play it.
It started off all about him, just talking about himself. And he's like, have you seen my new magazine?
He was showing you his own picture on the cover of a magazine.
Right. And so I was like, does this normally work for you? And he looked very taken back, like he didn't really understand what I was saying. Like, does just, talking about yourself normally work? And I was like, someone should take that magazine and spank you with it. And I'll never forget the look on his face. And he was like,
what was the look?
Just, I don't think anyone's ever spoken to him like that, especially, a young woman who looked like me. And I said,
pause it. The look could have also been like, I can't believe you're the second young woman who has spoken to me like that.
I can't believe that it's all of these young women and Ivanka. It's a trend.
And I said, give me that. And I remember him going, you wouldn't. I was like, hand it over. And so he did. And I was like, turn around, drop him.
You told Donald Trump to turn around and take off his pants?
Yes.
And did he?
Yes. So he turned around and pulled his pants down.
Can we just go back just a little bit? I love the look on Anderson Cooper's face, who, Anderson Cooper looks a little buttoned up, but I have a
Very
feeling
concerned.
He's smirking.
He's got like,
there.
I'm proud of him for not giggling.
No,
He's
he
a real
totally,
giggler.
no, he, you could tell, like, he's just pulling it on, like, he's got that, like, got to make sure I don't smile at this one, because this is.
Maybe nausea might help keep things in check. That's certainly one of the only reasons I haven't laughed.
They probably went back to retape it.
This is my Mike Wallace moment.
Turn around, drop him.
You told Donald Trump to turn around and take off his pants?
Yes.
And
watch his face.
Did he?
Yes. So he turned around and pulled his pants down a little. He had underwear on and stuff, and I just gave him a couple swats.
This was done in a joking manner?
Yes. And from that moment on, he was a completely different person.
How so?
He quit talking about himself, and he asked me things, and I asked him things, and it just became like, a more appropriate.
Pause it. This part of when they move into like things become more appropriate, we just talk to each other like we're normal human beings. That's the part that I find really disgusting and disturbing. Like, really?
Also a bit far-fetched.
Right. Things got normal. Like, you just talk to, like, okay, good.
From that moment on, he was a completely different person.
How so?
He quit talking about himself, and he asked me things, and I asked him things, and it just became like, a more appropriate.
Became more comfortable.
Yeah. He's like, wow, you are special. You remind me of my daughter. He's like, you're smart, beautiful, and a woman to be recognized.
There we go.
More appropriate than that.
There we go.
That's how appropriate works. A girl spanks you, and then you go, you know what? I underestimated you. You remind me of my... I'll accept anybody's apology who whined and
Things
pushed to me
feel
without
like they're
maybe
super
joking about
normal
it.
between us now. And let me just tell you, just like my daughter.
You know what? There was a certain posturing and tension, maybe even I'll confess an ego on my part, keeping us from having a normal human interaction. But ever since you spanked me, I realized you're a lot like my daughter.
Yeah.
And we can have a natural, normal interaction now.
So much going on.
By the way,
I called it.
What's that?
Kind of. That he wants to be spanked and told he's a bad little boy.
Well,
There
she
you
didn't say
go.
he was a bad boy.
But you know what? Maybe there's more that we don't know about. I
think
didn't watch the whole thing. I'm sorry. I was at a goth concert.
I think I
last night.
called it with the unending jokes about Trump and his daughter,
Well,
which will only accelerate now.
It all
I
remains,
accept people's apologies who whined and bitched about those jokes.
It all remains to be seen, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, sure does.
The other thing that I think was also, the only other thing that I think was in any way telling about this interview, and look, it's quite clear. Donald Trump has a very screwed up perspective on women. The other thing,
Everyone knows that
Everyone,
and it almost wouldn't even have to be said.
yes. The part about if you believe Stormy Daniels, and so far there's little to question her claims. The part about her being threatened, where somebody sent like, hey, a strange guy to go walk up to her and say, nice kid you got there. Make sure you keep him safe. That part is also very telling, I think, about Donald Trump and the way that, and I don't know that it was Donald Trump who sent that person. I was talking to someone who worked for a billionaire, and he said, look, there are people around who know what their job is, and they don't need to be told. So the idea of Michael Cohen going and paying this woman without any word from Trump makes total sense whatsoever. They know what their job is. The idea of Michael Cohen sending someone to go and scare her that she's going to die or the kid is going to die or somebody's going to get injured also makes total sense.
Yeah, but I am pretty stupid, and I like to lay things out. Would it be funny?
Tell the girl who spanked me with the magazine that you'll threaten her child, okay?
Go threaten her in the parking lot. And is everybody taking this down? Because I want people to know.
I'm not going to spend $7 million to get her on The Apprentice. It would be great. It would be fun.
Yeah.
I would probably put it's worth like $75,000.
Yeah, it's not worth it to me.
This is not the most important thing about this story, but what does it say about his relationship with Tiffany that nobody thought he was talking about her when he said my daughter?
She's
Look,
dirty.
everybody knows.
She's dirty. Not
Tiffany
good.
Did anyone
is
think
foul.
she might
She's a
be?
product of Marla
She's bad.
Maples. I've
She's
said it a million
bad.
times. I figured her on her Sweet 16, and that's it.
Tiffany's sort of my
Done.
daughter, but also sort of not really.
Yeah, in a certain
as
sense.
much of my daughter as
Yeah, she's not really. Could you imagine Melania looked at the prenup? She's like, why is it I get all the money if you have an affair, except if you have an affair with daughter? But this is disgusting. You would never do this. Exactly. I would never
Don't
do
worry
that.
about a thing.
Exactly.